Yes, Atul Prabhu. Yeah.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Lad Daine. Prahlad Lad Daine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. हिरण्यकाशी पूर्वक्षः शिलटङ्कानखालये शिलटङ्कानखालये इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह यत्तो यत्तो यामि ततो नरसिंह यत्तो यत्तो यामि ततो नरसिंह बाहे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो बाहे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहं नदिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव कर कमलवरे मधुत शेंग ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु अनुबृंदा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल वरे नखामद्भुत शृंग ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु अनुबृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की जय श्री मुनि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय गौ प्रेमानंद हरि हरि थैंक यू प्रभु हरे कृष्ण
Thanks so much, Atul Prabhu. Very beautiful singing. Your voice is superb. Really,
you so
first
much.
time I am hearing Narsingha prayers, but very wonderful, wonderful voice, Prabhuji.
Devotees and
You guys
Krishna
are blessed by God's, it's a God's gift. Beautiful voice is a God's gift, and you are using it in the service of Lord. Really wonderful. I think last Sunday, Rashmi Mataji, she did the kirtan for Arati, yeah, and Chinmayi is singing anyway, and now Atul Prabhu, the whole family, the kirtan family actually.
I did sing the last Sunday after the class. Chinmay was playing the
You
harmonium.
did it? Okay.
Yeah, it was not recorded. YouTube was not working.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Really great, wonderful. So, okay, Hare Krishna, all devotees. Hare Krishna, Ramchandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dhatri Mata is there?
She's not well, Prabhuji. She's not well, Prabhuji.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, let her take rest. Hare Krishna, Madhavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shankar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji.
So, Shankar Prabhu, are you at home?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so Jayasri Mata is joining? Join?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Jayasri Mataji. Welcome. Nice to see
Thank
you.
you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
How are you?
Good, Prabhuji.
Super, super. You are at home today. Wonderful. Very
Yes, I'm home. I'm cleaning house and listening.
good, good, good. Hare Krishna, Bada Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Nice to see you. Hare Krishna, Swara Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
How are you, Mataji?
Yeah, good.
Good, good, very good. Hare Krishna, Sapan.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Wonderful. So thank you all devotees for joining. If you remember, we are discussing chapter 6. Okay, we completed 4 verses. We will continue to 5th one. Okay, and also if you remember in our last session, I explained about this while explaining about marginal energy. Okay, Nitya Baddha and Nitya Siddha. Yeah, 2 types of devotees I mentioned. Okay, today I am going to introduce little further. Yeah, so we'll only once we finish Gita session, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, we will dedicate that one. Okay, some enhancement to that topic. Yeah, so we know Nitya Baddha, Nitya Siddha. So, but there will be something else we need to understand. Okay, so that today I will explain. Okay, right. So let me share my screen. Okay, so as a quick recap, what exactly mentioned in the first 4 verses, we'll have a quick recap. So the chapter 6 is known as the Jnana Yoga. So in Jnana Yoga, chapter 6 starts with the Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna says, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is a true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. Understand? So Krishna is saying here, what exactly is the renunciation? Renunciation doesn't mean wear saffron cloths or taking sannyas or sitting in an isolation place and isolated place and closing your eyes or doing something, yeah, and thinking I am renouncing this world or I am renouncing everything. Okay, so it's externally the soul may do like this, but internally if the mind contemplates on sense gratification, there is no use. Understand? So why Bhakti Yoga is the topmost? In Bhakti Yoga, we do service, we act. Yeah. So the true renunciation is a person to be engaged in the service of the Lord. When we engage in the service of the Lord, what happens? Naturally, those things which are not favorable to Krishna will be kicked out of our mind. So that is the true renunciation. That's what exactly Krishna is saying here. Okay, and of course, definitely when we are doing these services without expecting any result, yeah, unattached to the fruits of his work. Okay, so, and I have given the example Prabhupada mentioned many times, comparing with a person who is pretending as a sannyasi, a sweeper who sweeps the street is better because he is doing some karma, means some action, yeah, like that. So that's exactly Krishna is saying here. What exactly Krishna is saying? not who lights no fire and performs no duty. Okay, comparing with someone like who lights no fire and performs no duty means who is just like, avoiding the action. Of course, it is not possible to avoid action fully. Yeah. But comparing with that one, so this type of people, they are the true renunciators. It means devotees, naturally. Yeah. Bhaktas. Okay. And then text to Krishna is saying, what is called renunciation, you should know to be the same as yoga, or linking oneself with the Supreme, O son of Pandu. For one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire of sense gratification. Okay. Further, like continuing on the same point, Krishna continuing on the same point is saying that true renunciation is renouncing the sense gratification. Okay. You are eating Krishna Prasadam. Is it a sense gratification? No, isn't it? Yeah. So this is the difference between bhakta, devotee and non-devotee. So they eat, we eat. Well, what is the difference? We offer to Krishna and eat. So it's Krishna Prasadam. Understand? So it's not sense gratification. Okay. So here actions are same by a devotee and a non-devotee. Eating food. But devotee is renounced. Non-devotee is not renounced. Why? Because devotee renounced non-Krishna Prasadam food. Like, onion, garlic, meat, whatever it is, which are not favorable to Krishna, he renounced. But non-devotee has no restriction. He will eat whatever he like. That's the sense gratification. Understand? So to maintain body, both are eating, isn't it? When both are eating, yeah. So why can't you eat whatever is pleased by Krishna? That is the point. Okay. So if you have a question like, Prabhuji, what is, how can we say, we are renounced, or how can we say devotee is renounced, because devotee is also eating and non-devotee are also eating. Yes, true. Both are eating, both tummies are filling. Yeah. That's absolutely fine. But why devotees are renouncing? Because they are eating Krishna Prasadam only. Okay. That's point we need to understand. Now text 3. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be means. And for who is steady, for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. Okay. Many times we discussed, like, ceasing action is not at all possible. Understand? Ceasing action is not at all possible. One must act. The soul is forced to act in this material world. When the soul is forced to act, okay, why do we focus more on abandoning an action? Yeah, that is not true yoga. Understand? So the true yoga is you act, but that action should be in the service of the Lord. So if we practice that one, we will get the qualification of doing the same service in the spiritual world. This is very, very important. Understand? And text 4. A person is said to be elevated in yoga when having renounced all material desires. He neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. Okay? The same point. So what exactly renunciation means? Renouncing the material desires. And renouncing the actions that are meant for sense gratification. And renouncing the actions that are engaging us in fruitive activities. That's it. Understand? So he is the real yogi. So he can be elevated to the next level. Okay. So these are the 4 verses we discussed in the last session. Now let us go with 5. Shankar Prabhu, could you please read the verse 5?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
उद्धरेत् आत्मनात्मानां नात्मानाम् अवसादयेत् आत्मैव यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः. Translation. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Chararavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The word Atma denotes body, mind and soul, depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. Since the mind is a central point of yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from the attachment to sense objects. It is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nescience. In material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature. And in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. The word he is used for emphasizing this point, that is, that one must do this. It is also said, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoha bandhaya vishaya sango muktiyai nirvishayam manaha. For man, mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind observed in sense object is the cause of bondage, and mind detached from the sense objects is the cause of liberation. Amrita Bindu Upanishad 2. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is the cause of supreme liberation.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So, is Sumudra Mata there? Is Sumudra Mata joined? Okay, so Manjula Mata, can you read verse 6?
Yes, Prabhu, I could.
Yeah.
Bandhur Atma Tmanastasya Yenatmaivatmana Jitaha Anatmanastu Shatrutve Varte Tatmaiva Satruvataha. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, translation.
For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. The purpose of practicing the Eightfold Yoga is to control the mind in order to make it a friend in discharging the human mission. Unless the mind is controlled, the practice of yoga for show is simply a waste of time. One who cannot control his mind lives always with the greatest enemy, and thus his life and its mission are spoiled. The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. As long as one's mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictations of lust, anger, avarice, illusion, etc. But when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. Real yoga practice entails meeting the Paramatma within the heart and then following his dictation. For one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord follows automatically. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. Atul Prabhu, could you please read 6.7?
Yes, Prabhu. Jitatmana prashantasya parmatma samahitah shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayo.
Yeah.
For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. Actually, every living entity is intended to abide by the dictation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. When the mind is misled by the external illusory energy, one becomes entangled in material activities. Therefore, as soon as one's mind is controlled through one of the yoga systems, one should be considered to have already reached the destination. One has to abide by superior dictation. When one's mind is fixed on the superior nature, he has no alternative but to follow the dictation of the Supreme. The mind must admit some superior dictation and follow it. The effect of controlling the mind is that one automatically follows the dictation of the Paramatma or Super Soul. Because this transcendental position is at once achieved by one who is in Krishna consciousness, the devotee of the Lord is unaffected by the dualities of material existence, namely distress and happiness, cold and heat. This state is practical samadhi or absorption in the Supreme. Thank you, Prabhu.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Atul Prabhu. Right. So why I mentioned three verses, together, because these three verses talks about the mind. Understand? So these three verses talks about the mind. So Krishna mentioned mind is the greatest enemy. At the same time, mind is your best friend also. Okay. So by controlling the mind only, we can reach or we can focus Krishna, who is within our heart as a Paramatma. Understand? Yeah. Very recently in my friends group, someone asked a question. The question, one of my friend asked, her son asked a question, what is the difference between mind and heart? Her son, maybe he is studying some 14 years or 15 years old boy. So he asked a question to her mother, Mommy, what is the difference between mind and the heart? So this lady explained in terms of biological, on gross level, like biological mind connecting mind, brain and the biological heart, in that terminology she explained, and she posted a message. I explained like this. Is there anything else we can understand about the difference between mind and heart? Actually, that is what she said. Then I replied her, okay, so you explained to your son on gross level. Yeah. So I will explain you on subtle level. That's what I mentioned. Okay. On subtle level from Gita point of view. I clearly mentioned on subtle level from our Shastra scriptures point of view. This lady is a Muslim. Okay. So, but I told her, I will explain from Shastra's point of view. So far actually 2 parts, since it is, depending on WhatsApp, 2 parts I posted. Yeah. And when we have our physical association on one Saturday, maybe after Gaur Purnima, okay, we'll start our Saturday class. Saturday evening we'll meet, as I mentioned, once, one Saturday every month we'll meet. And then these 4 sessions on Zoom. This is what we decided, isn't it? Yeah. So then that time when we meet personally, that time I'll give the PowerPoint presentation on this, the difference between mind and heart. Okay. So the design from subtle point of view. So there also I quoted the verses from Gita, and these 3 are there. Main point we need to understand is like mind is your best enemy, greatest enemy, and also mind is your best friend. Okay, this is a very, very important point to understand. So why mind is so important? Why mind is so important? Our Chinmay is there. Chinmay, can you answer why mind is so important actually?
On the
Back to back in 3 verses, Krishna spoke about mind here. Yeah.
on the biological level or the Gita point of view?
Whatever you know, you tell me. Okay, from Gita point of view. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, mind's important because if we control the mind, we control our senses. We can actually achieve a lot of stuff. But if we fail to control our mind's going to control us, and it can actually pull us down in Maya.
Okay, so can you give any example?
Like if we engage our mind in thinking of the Lord and always chanting and always thinking about Him, we can actually control our mind, and we're going to be better at this. And then if we like engage our mind in all kind of nonsense stuff, in something that's like bogus and not important, then we fail to control our mind, and our mind is going to pull us down.
Very good. Very good. Anyone else want to add something? Anyone else?
Prabhuji, for the reason mind is being called as both friend and enemies, the example could be like, like let's say I have a problem with obesity, and the doctor, let's say sugar, I should not eat sugar, right? But I have I want to eat sugar, I like it. So mind is saying go and eat it because you like it, but at the same time the intelligence is asking you not to do it because it will increase your sugar level. So we are still eating. So in this scenario, mind is acting not as your friend but as your enemy here. Because, so that way we can understand. So
okay, wonderful points mentioned. Swara Mataji, can you say anything on this point?
No, Prabhuji, maybe same example.
Okay, so you understood what Chinmay and Atul Prabhu spoke, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, right. Manjula Mataji, you raised your hand. Yeah, please.
Yes, Prabhu. It just reminded me of 2 shlokas where Krishna repeatedly, it's 934 and 1865, where he says, Man manabhav mat bhakto matyachi mam namaskaru. He emphasizes how much it is important that the mind is constantly engaged, as the young Mataji, Vaishnavi Mataji just explained, to be constantly engaged and thinking of Krishna, because that's the way only we can go back to or attain the nature of Krishna and go back to Golok Vrindavan. So I just thought I'll share that. Thank you, Prabhu.
Wonderful. Jayasri Mataji, what is your view on this point?
Prabhuji, one should go with their.
Mataji, little louder. Your voice is low.
Okay, Prabhuji. I'm trying, Prabhuji. I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
From we have to go with our what we called मन कैसा सोचते हैं उसके पीछे नहीं जाना है. कुछ नहीं प्रभु जी, I can understand but I cannot explain.
Okay, fine. Mataji, you can explain in Hindi also, no problem.
Okay,
I will
Prabhuji.
translate.
I will try, Prabhuji.
Try in Hindi. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Okay. Not now, Prabhuji. Next time I will try, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Thank you for
Prabhuji?
doing that.
Yes,
Hare
Ramchandra.
Krishna.
Yeah.
The mind is like the photo on the front of the Bhagavad Gita.
Mm.
The mind's given as the person sat in the chariot, and there's 5 horses pulling it.
Mm.
The 5 horses are given as the senses. So the senses are just pulling in different directions. So you have to control the mind. If you don't control the mind, it's just going in all different directions.
Wonderful. Amada Prabhu, you want to say anything? Yeah, Prabhuji is showing Gita book because that horse is everything. Yeah. So
Hare
what?
Krishna, yes.
Yeah, what is your opinion on this controlling mind? Why should we control our mind?
Only Krishna can protect us from the onslaught of Maya in this material secular world. And if you allow the mind to follow the sense objects, you would fall down. And so the only way is to continuously put Krishna in the center, and you are saved.
True. Krishna Prema Mataji. Want to hear from you also.
I think the mind is really powerful. How we feed the mind, if we think we can sense, sense the vibration around us, and we can sense like is up to a human that how we can use the mind. If we Krishna conscious, we always 24 hours think about Krishna. Krishna always heal our mind, isn't it? How we changed, how we think, how we vibrate to others, how we control.
Yeah. Okay, Sappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
So Prabhuji, I can just resonate with all the devotees who have just said. So I will just add a few comments from my side. I feel that the mind's nature is to serve, and if we don't engage our mind in serving Krishna, it is going to engage itself in serving Maya or material nature. So if we are serving material nature, it goes against the constitutional position of a living entity, because we are made to serve Krishna. So if we serve Maya, we are going to suffer and we won't find a way out. But instead, if we engage our mind in serving Krishna, we have a chance to get out of the entanglement of birth and death.
Okay, very good, wonderful. Madhavi Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Because of uncontrolled mind, we are taking so many births recycle, and what we have to do's and don'ts also we can think about with the mind. And uncontrolled mind, because of uncontrolled mind, so living entities, so how they fall down different ways. I don't know.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Aditya, do you want to say anything? Aditya.
No, Prabhu, I don't have any idea.
Okay, that's fine. Did you understand what devotees are speaking about mind?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so yeah, you just hear, slowly you will understand all the terminology and everything. Okay, don't feel
Okay,
like
Prabhu.
bored or you are alone, you are trailing behind, like that. Don't feel like that. Yeah, as you are hearing, you may not understand few technicalities.
No worries, Prabhu. Yeah.
But hearing itself is very, very important. Yeah, slowly you will understand. Yeah. Okay. See, listen carefully.
Okay.
It is the mind which deals with the external world. Okay. So we have different subtle elements, right? Okay. Of course, we all know soul is there, yeah. Mind, okay, and false ego is there, yeah. So, Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kammano Buddhirevacha, Buddhi, intelligence is there. Okay. So, mind, intelligence, and ego together constitute subtle body. Okay, this is the gross body. Okay, whatever we can see is the gross body. This gross body is made up of 5 elements. Okay, and subtle body is made up of 3 elements. What are those 3? Mind, intelligence, and false ego. And of course, Atma is there. Atma is separate. Okay, Atma is there. So this Atma, this soul carries this subtle body and enters into the gross body. Then we will get this human form. Whatever is the form, human or animal, whatever it is. Okay, the form like this. But when the person dies, a person died, what does it mean? This soul, along with this subtle body, leaves the body. That's why the body is dead. As long as the soul is within the body, since the soul gives that consciousness to the body, the person is alive. Okay. When the soul leaves the body, the person is died. Okay. It means the person, death happened. Okay. Now the soul leaving the body means just only soul doesn't leave the body. The soul along with this subtle body leaves the gross body. Understand? The soul along with the subtle body, which contains the 3 subtle elements. What are the 3 subtle elements? Mind, intelligence, ego. These are the 3 subtle elements, subtle body. Okay, soul carries this subtle body and leaves the gross body. Then gross body is destroyed. Gross body is dead. But the soul along with the subtle body moves with its next journey. Now, interesting point is, this mind, even though it left this gross body, it carries the desires, the impressions of desires of the soul. Understand? That is why we should always train our mind to have Krishna conscious desires. This is very, very important. Yeah. So if there are any unfulfilled desires are there within the soul, within the person, those impressions, the mind carries those impressions when it leaves the body. Understand? And when it occupies the next body, okay, so it carry forwards the desires. Understand? This is what happens. Okay, so the mind within the mind, what happens within the mind? Thought process happens. Where do thoughts come? Within our mind, right? Understand? Yeah. Thought process happens within the mind. Thought process doesn't happen in the heart. Okay. Thought process happens within the mind. Why this thought process happens within the mind? Because the mind, it is the mind only which deals with the external world. Okay, the 3 subtle elements, false ego, intelligence, and mind, out of these 3, of course, Atma is there. So out of these 3 subtle elements, it is the mind which deals with the external world. And how the, yes, Atul Prabhu, you raised your hand.
Yes, Prabhu. I just want to know about this. When we say that the subtle body consists of mind, intelligence, and false ego, I mean, in terms of quantifying it, we know that soul is 1,000 tip of the hair. But how does these? I mean, if we know, or if we can quantify, how does this mind and intelligence looks like in the subtle body? What are these made up of? I mean, I've heard this, but I never know, like, what are these when it goes with the subtle body? How do they look, or what is their size, or something like that?
Okay. So you are asking about the size of the subtle. Size of the.
Yeah, the physical identification. I definitely we can't see, but what is it made of, or something like that?
So I read, of course, we all maybe read about the size of the soul only. but never I have come across this mind and intelligence and false ego. Yeah. So Shankar Prabhu, do you have any about Atul Prabhu's question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sorry Prabhuji.
Yeah, so Atul Prabhu's question, like, do we have anything like size of the mind, something like that, that subtle element mind. Atma we know, yeah,
Yes,
the
Prabhuji,
size of
no.
Atma we know, but like that, is there anywhere in our scriptures mentioned about the size of these subtle entities like mind, intelligence, and false ego?
I haven't heard Prabhuji about the mind,
So, no.
size of the mind.
Exactly.
is
So we
subtle
didn't. So I didn't come across Prabhuji, but if I come across, then definitely I'll update. But definitely it's a good question, because when soul has the size, then what it's mentioned Sukshma Rupa. Okay, so subtle element, subtle body means Sukshma Rupa, isn't it? That's
so,
the meaning.
So not just the size. I try to understand how exactly. I mean, what is it made of? Everything's ingredients are being told that our body is made of those 5 elements, and then the subtle body is made of these elements. So what are these elements? How do they? I mean, some characteristics or some physical. That's
Okay, qualities. You're asking about the qualities. Okay. Okay, qualities of mind, again, it is explained in Gita. Qualities of mind, it is explained in our Gita clearly. So what are the qualities of mind? Mind is chanchal. Mind is not stable. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna. Okay. Arjuna is saying, my dear Krishna, this mind is very fickle. It's not stable. That is one of the quality of mind. And the another one, mind travels faster than wind. How? How mind travels? Mind travels by thoughts. Right? Mind travels by thoughts. If I think right now, oh, if I am in India at this time, maybe I would have done so and so. There is a function, some function is happening. I missed the function. So the mind travels. Mind travels faster than the wind. Okay. And also in Bhagavad Gita clearly mentioned what another point mentioned. It is easy to control the wind, but it is very, very difficult to control mind. This is a third aspect. Okay. The first one, mind is not stable, mind is fickle. The second one, mind travels faster than wind. Manojavam maruta tulya vegam. In Hanuman Chalisa, we know. Manojavam. What is Manojavam? Manojavam means mind travels. How? Faster than wind. Okay. And what is the third one I mentioned? The first one is stable. The second one, mind travels faster than wind. And the third one, what is the third one?
Thought.
I just mentioned.
Thoughts.
I just mentioned third one.
Chanchal, right?
Yeah, Chanchal is the first one.
First one.
Second one, mind travels faster than the wind. The third one is, it is very, very difficult to control mind. It is easy to control the wind, but it is very, very difficult to control the mind. Okay, this is also mentioned in Gita. Okay, and the fourth one, what is the characteristic of mind? What is the quality of mind? It is the mind which always deals with the external world. It is the mind which always deals with the external world. Okay, that is the problem. How it deals through senses and sense objects, isn't it? How many senses are there? Who knows it? In 13th chapter, Krishna mentioned, in 13th chapter, what Krishna mentioned is,
There are 24 altogether, but 5 are the acquiring senses, and then there are 5 working senses, and there are 5 sense objects. So
yes,
it
yes.
differently.
Indriyani dasa ekamsya. Indriyani dasa ekamsya. Panchendriya gocharaha. 13th chapter, Krishna mentioned, Indriyani dasa ekamsya. Panchendriya gocharaha. Indriyani, the senses are dasa ekamcha. Dasa ekam. Dasa plus eka. 11. 11. Senses are 11. What are 11 senses? Panchendriya Gocharaha. Pancha Indriya Gochara, sense objects. Sense objects are 5. So what are the 11 senses? Like Mataji mentioned, 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Knowledge acquiring senses are 5. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Working senses, 5 working senses are there. Voice, legs, hands, anus, and genital. And what is the other one? Mind is the master of senses. That's why mind is also known as one sense. Prabhupada explained in 13.6. Yeah. So yeah, another characteristic of mind is the master of senses. Yes, Manjula Mataji, you raised your hand.
Prabhu, I just remembered what Atul Prabhu had asked. The same question was there, and I had researched it when I was reading the entire creation. Even the mind, intelligence, and false ego are made of the 5 elements: the fire, earth, this, but it's in a different quantity. In mind, I think it was air, and I can't remember which 2 constituents combined together. But again, it's matter only. It's still, we are still in matter. It's not like Atma is spirit, but mind, intelligence, and ego is matter as well. So the combination I can't remember, but it is something like that only. But I could look up later on. And
Yeah. We'll see. We'll check it. Yeah, definitely in Srimad Bhagavatam it will be there. Yeah. So thanks, Mataji. Yeah, you just check that one also. I will also mention it will be there definitely. Okay, so 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, plus mind. Okay, these total 11 senses. Okay, why mind is also known as sense? Because mind is the master of senses. And 5 sense objects. Okay, what are the 5 sense objects? Who want to explain? What are the 5 sense objects? Smell, taste, form, touch, and sound. Okay, these are sense objects. So the mind deals with the external world through senses and sense objects. I mentioned my example many times. Okay, in my childhood, yeah, when I come out of my house, if I turn my head right, okay, on right side, in a visible distance, there is a movie theater. Whenever there is a change of movie, a big poster, they change the poster. Yeah. If the poster contains my favorite hero's face, immediately my mind thinks, oh, I want to watch this movie because this movie is my favorite heroes. Yeah. So the mind hesitates. Another characteristic, like Atul Prabhu, another characteristic of mind is mind always hesitates, not hesitate, agitate, or okay. So my eyes, senses and sense objects, right? Yeah. So vision is a sense, eyes, through eyes. Okay. My mind dealing with the external object. What is the external object here? Movie poster. Understand? Okay. So sense and sense object, eyes and vision, sense and sense object. Through this, I have seen a movie poster and my hero is there. When my hero is there, the mind thought process begins within my mind. What is the thought process? Oh, I want to watch this movie. I want to watch this movie. I want to watch this movie. My mother, she used to say, why are you turning your head right? Your school is on left side. When you go out of your house, our house, you turn your head left and go to the school. Why are you turning your head right? Head right side. But another interesting point about mind is, whatever someone says don't do, mind thinks of that one only. That is another problem. We all experience these things, isn't it? Okay. That is the reason we should control the mind. When I go out of my house, what exactly it means by controlling mind? Okay. Don't look at right. You only look at left. Turn left. Go to school. Don't turn right and focus on what is the movie in that theater. Understand? So very key point here, we need to understand why we should control our mind. The immediate answer should come because it is the mind which is dealing with the external world and how it deals through senses and sense objects. Understand? Okay. So thought process begins within the mind. Mind contemplates. Contemplating means keep on thinking, keep on thinking, keep on thinking, thinking for a longer time. Understand? So, if the mind contemplates on Krishna, keep on thinking, lagna, manas, in Telugu we say, manasni lagnam jetam. We need to, the mind should be contemplate on what? If the mind contemplates on Krishna for a longer duration, it will be purified. But if my mind contemplates on some external object, which is not favorable to Krishna, then it will fall under the trap of Maya. Understand? So if someone asks you, or if you explain to someone, very important point we need to understand is, out of these subtle elements, mind is your best friend or mind is the greatest enemy. Why should we control mind? We should control mind because it is the mind which always deals with the external world through senses and sense objects. External world means material world. Okay. So there will be Krishna conscious objects are there, non-Krishna conscious objects are there. Maybe 90% non-Krishna conscious objects are there in this material world. So controlling should happen, and thought process happens repetitively for a longer time. That is the reason one should control mind. You got it now? Because this is very, very important topic. That's why, I just, stopped sharing, because, I just want, whoever switched on your videos, I just want to see you and, explain like that. So far, did you understand? Yeah, as I mentioned, when we discuss mind and heart, mind versus heart, that time, we will discuss more in deep. Yeah. So did you understand why controlling mind is important? Yeah. If you have any questions, okay, please make a note and feel free to ask in our next session. Okay. Now we have 5 minutes. Okay. Let me share this PowerPoint presentation which we discussed. First I will ask you one question. You all remember this one, right? This slide. Last time. Types of living entities, Nitya Siddha and Nitya Baddha. Yeah. Nitya Siddha means never becomes a victim of Maya. They are eternal associates of the Lord. Nitya Baddha means conditioned souls. They are victimized by Maya. Okay. They are eternally conditioned. I explained eternally conditioned. If they are eternally conditioned, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentioned, you think of me, you worship me, yeah, then you will come back to me. So if they are eternally conditioned, how can they go to spiritual world? Do you remember I mentioned this one, right? So is it possible, my question here is, is it possible for a Nitya Baddha to become Nitya Siddha? That is my question. Who wants to answer? Who knows it? Is it possible for a Nitya Baddha to become Nitya Siddha?
Prabhu, I can try.
Try, Mataji.
I can only go by examples in scriptures, like we see the 3 lives of Narad Muni. He comes as he was a Gandharva, and then he becomes Dasi Putra, and then eventually Narada. So he becomes liberated. So that's one example that we can see. But of course, we are not in that position, but maybe in some lifetime we could too. And there is also the same, I think, will apply for Bharat Maharaj. He goes through 3 lifespans of King Bharat, and then is it Jara no, dear Bharat and then Jara Bharat, isn't it? And then eventually goes back to, he becomes a eternal associate. So it is possible, but I think it's a tough journey, I think probably.
Tough journey. Wonderful, Mataji. Perfect. Perfect. Everyone understood what Mataji mentioned. Mataji quoted 2 examples. Yeah. In Nectar of Devotion, it is explained like this. Can you see here? Now there are more siddhas here. Okay. Sadhana siddha, krupa siddha. What exactly they mean? Sadhana siddha. Yes, a nitya baddha can become nitya siddha through sadhana. We are practicing devotees, practitioners, sadhakas, sadhana bhaktas. Okay, sadhana siddha means, yes, conditioned soul, nitya baddha, by practicing devotional service, as per our scriptures, under the guidance of a spiritual master, he can become a sadhana siddha. And when that sadhana is perfect, okay, in due course of time, he will be nitya siddha. Like Mataji mentioned, Narada Muni, Bharat, Jada Bharat, okay, all these great by severe sadhana. Okay. And another term mentioned is Krupa Siddha. What is Krupa Siddha? By the mercy of Lord. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't happen to everyone. Bear in mind. Okay. No, Prabhuji, I don't want to do this sadhana. Okay. I will go with Krupa Siddha. It is not as per wish it happens. Okay. Rarely these things happen. Krupa Siddha. The best example we have is Jaga and Matai. Okay. Like this. So rarely, exceptional cases, okay, by Krupa Siddha, okay, by the causeless mercy of Lord, the soul can become Nitya Siddha. Okay. So remember these 2 also. So yes, Nitya Baddha means why eternally conditioned here mentioned, because infinitely many years in the past, it started its journey in this material world. Keep on coming. Continue its journey. Since there is no trace, the word eternally is used. Understand? Okay. But yes, Krishna's words are correct. What is Krishna's words? If you think of me, if you worship me, yeah, then you will come back to me. Yes, it happens. How? Nitya Baddha, first, if he becomes a sadhana siddha by practicing as per scriptures, not as per his wish. Practicing devotional service as per scriptures under the guidance of a spiritual master in the association of devotees. When he does this sadhana siddha, he can become nitya siddha. And in rare cases, it's purely up to the Lord, grace marks. 35 is the pass mark. I got 32 or 33. Sometimes the government announces some grace marks. It doesn't happen every year, isn't it? Rarely happens. Some grace marks they give, so that they will add that 2 or 3 grace marks and pass the student. So like that, by Krupa Siddha, which happens rarely, okay, we have to go with this one. Okay, don't go with this one. Oh, no, I will get Krupa Siddhi, let me enjoy my life, like that. No. Okay, so by Krupa Siddha, a Nitya Baddha can become Nitya Siddha.
Prabhuji?
Yes, Mata. Yes, Prabhuji.
I know we are almost ending now, but you may answer later as well or comment on it later. My question is, this Nitya Baddha and Nitya Siddha. So Nitya Siddha means eternal associates of Lord, right? That's what you have written there. So eternal associate means they will never be coming back. Once if
Exactly.
it is there.
Exactly. Yes, definitely they will never come back, but by the order of Lord, they will come to perform some mission, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. So these reside with the Lord in his dham always.
Yes.
but they are still called as living beings. They are not called as, like what I'm trying to say is that we say that except Sadashiv, all the other demigods are still the Jeev Tattva because they are under the,
no, except Lord Shiva,
Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
Rest of all, that's what I have heard. Now, but when we are eternally with him, then how come we are living entities? I mean, if he's the Nitya Siddha, then how come the Nitya Siddha is being called as living entity? Because he's with him. So he's out of the creation and destruction. He's in the spiritual world. You know what my question, what I'm trying to ask? Theoretically, I'm thinking contradicting.
No. So I got your point. Yeah. So, but so the Lord allocates some services to different people to perform in this material world. Just like Brahma. Brahma is a position, isn't it? Okay. Whoever is the qualified for to perform the actions of Brahma, they will become Brahma. So by the order of the Lord, okay, the soul can perform some actions in this material world. That happens. Okay?
But they are not, are they, I mean, Brahma and all the other demigods, are they Nitya Siddhas?
No. Yeah, they mentioned they are not Nitya Siddhas.
And who are Nitya Siddhas? That's what my question is. Who are Nitya Siddhas? And who basically, once he starts living with the Lord in his eternal world, as you said, he comes at the order of the Lord. But then how come he's in the category of living being? Then he should be in the category of Vishnu Tattva, which is looks.
See, Nitya Siddhas means, for example, Sesh, Lord's Chakra, and all our Acharyas.
Prabhupada.
Yeah, all our Acharyas, like Ramajacharya, Madhvacharya, like this. Yeah, Narada Muni.
So basically, the Lord's incarnation portions, plenary portions, those are Nitya Siddhas.
Lord's eternal associates. They are all called Lord's eternal associates.
But then the living entity can also become.
Can also become, yes. Nectar of devotion, it is mentioned, by practice. By practice, if it is eligible, so they will enter into confidential zone, or the most close circle of the Lord, they will enter. It doesn't happen easily.
Got it now.
When they are qualified. Okay. So thank you very much. Sorry, I took 5 minutes extra. If you quickly switch on your videos, first we will take the devotee darshan, then quickly we will have deity darshan also, and then we can conclude. So thank you, Krishna Priya Mataji. Thank you, Madhavi Mataji. Sapan. Yes, Aditya, welcome to our group. Thank you very much for joining. Aditya came to our temple. Aditya lives in Blackburn. He works as a nurse. He is from Andhra. He came to our temple last Sunday, and he's a very, very wonderful soul. He showed his, the desire, to join the association of the devotees. So, and today he is here. So thank you very much, Aditya. This is our family. Okay, feel free to ask any question. Okay, don't feel shy. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Jaysri Mataji, Shankar Prabhu, and Swara Mataji. Everyone. Okay, anyone wants to show their deities for darshan? Thank you, Krishna Priya Mataji. Very beautiful darshan. Yes, Ram Chandra Prabhu, please.
So I can't. Can you see, Prabhuji? Or
it's a little not so clear. I don't know.
One moment, Prabhuji. I know where I've been.
Prabhuji, I think your setting in the profile is the blur. That's
something is.
Right. I think this might work.
Yeah, I think now it's perfect, Prabhuji. Yeah. It's a beautiful Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Gaurnitai and Radha Krishna, very beautiful altar actually. Pranadat Mataji has. Even Damodara is there. Lord Narsingha, Damodara. So whenever we visit, Radha Krishna is there. Whenever we visit, Mataji's house, so we really enjoy their altar. They are taking care very nicely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Prabhu. Okay, now let us take the darshan of Radha Gokulananda. Gauranitai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. Okay. Thank you very much. We will conclude here. And again, we will meet next Monday. But I humbly request all of you to go through these verses, whatever we are discussing. Okay. From chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. And make a note. Any questions, feel free, to ask. And please make a note. Please maintain a notebook. Okay. After 1 year also, if you open the notebook, you can recollect. Yeah, otherwise it just goes like that. Okay, this knowledge is not supposed to be vanished in due course of time. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Embada Prabhu.
So,
Embada Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
You are not in Manchester, Prabhuji. I can see
No.
you someone.
Yes, I'm with my auntie in Sweden, Gävle, north of
They are
Stockholm.
also listening, Prabhuji. They also came in when we saw. No, they are also behind us.
Yeah, she just came in now when the deities came out.
Oh, very good, very good.
But I have talked with her before. She's a little bit informed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this knowledge is what I'm trying to say. This knowledge is not supposed to vanish as the time moves. Okay, so please maintain a notebook. Please make a note. Okay, also please go through the verses as we are discussing. Yeah, now it's once a week, isn't it? So you have the time to go through it. Yeah, make a note. Questions, make a note and ask. Yeah, this is very, very important. This is very, very important. Otherwise, you will repent. Maybe after 1 year or 2 years, or if you are somewhere else like that, when you are going through it, you need to again recollect. If the notebook is there, when you refer the notebook, everything will come in the mind. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, all the devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya krupā sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Gaur bhakta ki.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Hari Krishna, Prabhuji, everyone. Hari